Hey, Chili with FNC Travel here with this version, the Volume 3 of Cruise Industry News. And as you probably have gathered in the first two episodes, I'm experimenting with cameras and lighting and trying to come up with the best way of doing these, whether to go live or to video, tape them, all those kind of things. So I'm working on it, and hopefully we'll come up with a plan eventually. But today's version is not quite as long as yesterday's, but we do have a couple of items of news to cover. One, the Carnival Sunshine ran into some problems this week. It came out of dry dock after a 2-week dry dock where there were all sorts of refurbishments and improvements made, and started on a 7-day cruise and had technical issues, and they got stuck in San Juan. They were in San Juan for the best part of 24 hours. They had to cancel a port of call at Grand Turks, which was actually yesterday. They got on their way and are back, and they'll end up back at Port Canaveral at the normal time. Just the cruise got screwed up a little bit. The thing that makes Carnival look bad on this one, and I'm a Carnival guy, don't get me wrong, I'm not being critical, but it makes them look bad. It was just in dry dock. It's first cruise out, and they had technical problems. Yeah, that's not a good sign. But anyway, that's the Carnival Sunshine. It is on its way, and nobody was hurt. No, there's no major problems. Okay, couple items from Royal Caribbean. The Ovation of the Seas will return to Alaska for the 2020 season, which will be its second season in Alaska. Also, the Anthem of the Seas, which has been in Bayonne forever. It's been in Bayonne for several years now. Is going to be based in the British Isles, going to Southampton. Along with Independence of the Seas, there will be two Royal Caribbean ships based in Southampton, starting in 2020. Now, they have not said who's taken Anthem of the Seas' place in Bayonne. And of course, that's a pretty major market there, one of the New York markets. So, not sure who's going to take their place yet. But anyway, the folks in the British Isles come out ahead on this one because that's a nice ship. Very nice ship. Okay, Holland America has introduced, make some changes for the 2019 Alaska season. They've dubbed their program We Are Alaska. They've made some significant changes on some of their fleet, and they've come up with some different ideas. And Holland America's, they're a major player in the Alaska market. One of the main things that they've got going is the 21-day Maasdam cruise from San Francisco to Alaska, and it picks up some new ports of call. At least they were new to us. I assume that somebody else goes in there, but it's got some new ports of call on it. It's a really a neat cruise. But anyway, Holland America. Let's see, they're expanding to include sites like the Hubbard Glacier, Ketchikan, Sitka, Haines, and Juneau. The Maasdam is adding Valdez, Kodiak, Wrangell, Alaska, and as well as a couple more. The Holland America roster of ships for 2019, which will include 7 and 14-day itineraries for not only the Maasdam, but also the Amsterdam, the Eurodam, the New Amsterdam, the Noordam, the Oosterdam, the Volendam, and the Westerdam. And of course, they will be sailing out of Vancouver, Seattle, and Anchorage or Seward, whichever you want to call it. So that's Holland America as they continue to expand in the Alaska market. If you've never done an Alaska cruise, you need to do one. They're well worth, they're not the cheapest cruises around, but man, they're fabulous. And especially if you have time to do some of the neat cruise and land combo packages, they're fabulous. Okay, that brings us down to MSC. MSC Divina was sailed out of Miami for a long time and was replaced this past year by the MSC Seaside, which is a new ship. And she's been sailing out of Miami for this past year. The Divina went to Europe. The Divina is back in the States, and it will sail for the first time Sunday this weekend. That's tomorrow, as I'm doing this live. Sailing tomorrow out of Miami. And they've made some changes. The Divina did a brief dry dock, had some improvements made. They made some major changes to the buffet. It's now the Italy Market. And they've taken what used to be the Galaxy Lounge and added a new sushi restaurant, which I love sushi, so that's cool for me. I have no idea if it's going to be included or if it's a la carte. Who knows? But anyway, that's the Divina is back on this hemisphere again. So MSC will have two ships now sailing the Caribbean. As a matter of fact, our featured cruise for today, which there will be, of course, a link in the description of the video. Our feature cruise for today is the MSC Divina, sailing from Miami on November the 29th. And there are several other dates available with the same itinerary through 2020. But it's a 10-day cruise out of Miami. It stops at Tortola, the British Virgin Islands. Probably my favorite stop anywhere in the Caribbean. St. Kitts, Antigua, Guadalupe, St. Martin, and then back to Miami. The Divina is a neat ship. I've been on the Seaside. I have not been on the Divina, but that was a good introduction of a lot of us to European style cruising. And so it's good to have both of them sailing now out of Florida. And that's our featured cruise for today. The other item that I wanted to cover today is not actually a cruise item, but it's related enough that I felt comfortable adding it into our broadcast. And that's the highly anticipated Excellence Oyster Bay Resort has officially opened in Jamaica. It's on the northern coast of Jamaica in the general vicinity of Montego Bay. It's a $110 million adult-only project. The grand opening was this past week. It has 10 bars and lounges, 24-hour room service, 3 swimming pools, 4 outdoor hot tubs, and a bunch of other amenities. And if you look at the little avatar on this cruise in the background, that's the new Excellent Oyster Bay Resort. So if you like to do some all-inclusive resorts as opposed to cruises, here's a brand new one for you that you can check out. And of course, you can always contact FNC Travel, and we'll be happy to get you prices and so forth on that. So that's it for today. This is Chili from FNC Travel. You guys have a great weekend. Well, hopefully we'll see you on a cruise real soon.